Budget and Finance. I do see Councilmember Porterfield obviously present, Councilmember Cortez, Councilmember Druffel, Councilmember Evans, Councilmember Evans Siegel, Councilmember Gamble, Councilmember Kimbrough, Spain, and Webb. I believe we do have a quorum. I think some of our friends are still coming in. Councilmember Huffman, thank you so very much. Did I miss any committee members? Okay, so I do detect a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First and foremost, welcome to the Budget and Finance Committee, to our new colleagues and our new council members. Thank you so very much for being here. The first item on the agenda is the public comment period. 4 members of the public will be permitted to address the committee during the comment period. This is not a question and answer session, so the committee members will not be engaging directly with speakers. Do we have anyone? We do not have anyone signed up to speak today. Traditionally, each speaker will be given 2 minutes to address the committee on an item for which the committee will be taking action, and those members will be recognized. So again, we can take up to 4 people per meeting, and each person will have up to 2 minutes. But since we don't have anyone today, we're going to go ahead and move forward to the items on the consent agenda. I will read through the bill numbers, and if you want anything removed from the consent agenda, please push your button to be recognized, and I will recognize you to move it from the consent agenda. We do have Councilmember Gregg with us as well, so I have you noted on the agenda. So on consent, we have RS 2023-5, RS 2023-7, RS 2023-8, RS 2023-10, RS 2023-11, RS 2023-12, RS 2023-15, RS 2023-17, RS 2023-18, RS 2023-19, RS 2023-20, RS 2023-22, RS 2023-23, RS 2023-24, RS 2023-25, RS 2023-27, RS 2023-28, RS 2023-29, RS 2023-31, RS 2023-32, RS 2023-37, RS 2023-39, and RS 2023-40. Is there anything that you all would like to be removed from the consent agenda? I also want to acknowledge that we do have Councilmember Toombs with us, as well as Councilmember Johnston. So you all have been added to the roster. Councilmember Evans.
Item 19, please.
All right, RS 2023-20 will be removed from consent. Is there anything else that you all would like to be removed from the consent agenda? All right, buckle up, folks. Here we go. RS 2023-5, Alan Toombs, extends the time within which the Tax Incentive and Abatement Study and Formulating Committee shall study and submit its complete report and recommendations. RS 2023-7, Porterfield and Parker, accepts the terms of a cooperative purchasing master agreement for the purchase of mobile anti-ram, anti-vehicle barriers for Nashville Department of Transportation. RS 2023-8, Porterfield, Evans, Welsh, and others, approves a grant contract between the Office of Family Safety and the Sexual Assault Center for the provision of medical legal exams, therapy, and assists with the Safe Bar program, all for the benefit of residents of Davidson County who are victims, survivors of sexual assault. RS 2023-10, Toombs, Porterfield, Evans, and others, accepts a community project funding grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to the Metro Department of General Services to fund the construction of the 3rd floor at 1354 Brick Church Pike for the future Nashville Assessment Center to provide therapeutic pre-charge diversion services to address low-level misdemeanor and youth offenses. RS 2023-11, Porterfield, Evans, Welsh, and Sorora, accepts a donation from Music City, Inc. to the Nashville Fire Department of a 2023 Polaris ATV equipped with a medical bed to transport injured individuals. RS 2023-12, Porterfield, Evans, and Sorora, accepts an in-kind grant from the Vanderbilt University Medical Center to the Metro Nashville Fire Department to provide training materials for paramedics who participate in the pre-hospital airway control trial trauma airway study. RS 2023-15, Porterfield Evans, approves Amendment 1 to an Emergency Management Performance Grant from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency to the Office of Emergency Management to subsidize the Emergency Management Program. RS 2023-17, Porterfield Evans, accepts a Victim Service State Grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration to the Metro Nashville Police Department to administer funds to enhance the use of evidence-based strategies to provide support services to victims of crime. RS 2023-18, Porterfield Evans, accepts a community-based traffic safety enforcement and education grant from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office to the Metro Nashville Police Department to continue the enhanced DUI enforcement initiative and target distracted driving and seatbelt enforcement. RS 2023-19, Porterfield Evans, approves Amendment 1 to a grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration to the Metro Nashville Police Department for funding for the Internet Crimes Against Children Unit. RS 2023-22, Porterfield Evans, approves an application for the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant from the U.S. Department of Justice to the Metro Nashville Police Department for specialized training and equipment to ensure personnel maintain needed certifications for criminal investigation and crime reduction initiatives. RS 2023-23. CAP Porterfield Styles Welsh accepts an in-kind grant from the Friends of Shelby Park and Bottoms to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to provide equipment and signage improvements to Shelby Park and Bottoms. RS 2023-24, Porterfield Taylor and Styles accepts an in-kind grant from the Vanderbilt University to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to replace the current video board at the Centennial Sportsplex. RS 2023-25, Porterfield Evans, approves a contract between the Metro Board of Health and Belmont University to provide clinical experience opportunities for its nursing program students. RS 2023-27, Porterfield, Evans, and Welsh, approves a contract between the Metro Board of Health and Family and Children Services to provide Affordable Care Act navigators to screen individuals for health insurance eligibility at health department locations. RS 2023-28, Porterfield, Evans, Coopin, and others, accepts the grants from the Friends of Metro Animal Care and Control to the Metro Board of Health to provide funding for emergency medical care for shelter animals. RS 2023-29, Porterfield, Evans, and Welsh, approves Amendment 2 to a grant from the National Association of County and City Health Officials to the Metro Board of Health to partner with agencies and implement activities that address the community's challenges related to drug overdose deaths. RS 2023-31, Coopin, Porterfield, Rutherford, and Parker, authorizes the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure to enter into a facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation Incorporated to construct, use, and maintain communications conduit and fiber in the railroad right-of-way along Broadway between 10th Avenue and 11th Avenue. RS 2023-32, Gamble Porterfield Parker, supports beautification of an underpass on Moorwood Drive in the Parkwood neighborhood under the Briley Parkway State Route 155 bridge and approves an application for a license agreement between the Metropolitan Government and the State Department of Transportation. RS 2023-37, Toombs, Parker, Porterfield, Rutherford, approves a participation agreement between the Metro Department of Water and Sewage Services and the Clear Blue Company to provide public sewer service improvements for Clear Blue's proposed development, as well as other existing properties in the area. RS 2023-39, Porterfield, authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of Whitney Drury against the Metropolitan Government in the amount of $18,028.50, with said amount to be paid out of the Self-Insured Liability Fund. And RS 2023-40, Porterfield, authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of State Farm Insurance as subrogate of Melanie Martin against the Metropolitan Government for $19,903.86, with said amount to be paid out of the Self-Insured Liability Fund. Is there anything else that you all would like to bump off of the consent agenda? Seeing nothing, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. It has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. And any abstentions? All right, we have 13 people here. So the consent agenda passes, 13 in favor, 0 against, and 0 abstaining. We will now move on to the next item. RS 2023-1, Porterfield Evans appropriates $45,000 from the Community Safety Fund for a grant to pass the Beauty for South Nashville Community Safety Programs. Can I get a motion? It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13 in favor, 0 against, and 0 abstentions. RS 2023-2 Porterfield approves the application for a courtroom security grant from the Tennessee Administrative Office of the Courts to the State Trial Courts to improve security in the historic Metro Courthouse and the Justice A.A. Birch Building through the addition of security cameras and the securing of executive and judicial parking in the HCH parking garage. Can I get a motion? Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing. Did you have something, Councilman Druffel? Let me turn you on. Oh, wait, hold on. You're not Cash. Councilmember Druffel, you're recognized.
Really, no comment, except we're making it easy on you just because it's your first time as chair. So we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Druffel. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstaining. RS 2023-3 Porterfield accepts the Tennessee Highway Safety Office Recovery Court Enhancements Grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to the State Trials Court to fund various alcohol countermeasures highway safety projects. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13-0 to 0. RS 2023-6, Porterfield, Evans, and Sorora accepts the terms of a cooperative purchasing master agreement for pursuit vehicles and other special purpose vehicles with emergency upfitting for first responders. Can I get a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Y'all are quiet today. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13-0. The next item is RS 2023-9, Porterfield Evans appropriates $200,000 from the Office of Family Safety to various nonprofit organizations selected to receive Community Partnership Fund grants. Can I get a motion? It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 13-0. Next item, RS 2023-13, Porterfield authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Mars Handbag against the Metropolitan government for $145,000 to be paid out of the self-insured liability fund. Can I get a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All righty, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13-0. RS 2023-14 Porterfield authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Edna Collier against the Metropolitan government for $25,000 to be paid out of the self-insured liability fund. Can I get a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13-0. RS 2023-16 Porterfield Evans accepts the statewide school resource officer grant from the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security to the Metro Nashville Police Department to provide funding to place school resource officers in all Nashville public and middle high schools. Can I get a motion? It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Chair votes nay. Any abstentions? No abstentions. Motion carries 12-1-0. 12 in favor, 1 against, 0 abstaining. RS 2023-20, Porterfield Evans approves the Amendment 1 to an intergovernmental agreement between the Metro Nashville Police Departments and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for extra duty police officers. Can I get a motion? Is there a second? It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Evans, you are recognized.
Thank you. I don't know if, oh, hello, here he comes, the man I wanted. I had gone down this rabbit hole. Deputy Chief, you had connected me to internal people that manage kind of the process of the extra duty assignments. And one question I have after looking at the contract agreement is it references the minimum number of hours on the contract related to the different lakes like Percy Priest and Old Hickory and that kind of thing. Do you have any idea off the top of your head if we've met them? Are we being billed for the minimums regardless of whether we have officers that are able to take those assignments?
So, Chris Gilder, Deputy Chief of Metro Police Department. So we aren't billed, we are billing them. So they are signing up for extra duty services. They are paying for an overtime officer in those, to come and patrol in those areas to provide extra police services without affecting our on-duty resources. And we charge an hourly rate. I don't know how many hours they used in the past. If that was what your
Yeah, that's really where I was going is like, how many hours have we been able to meet all those hours that we are agreeing to?
I do know that, sometimes with SEU, obviously it's contingent on having enough officers signed up and available who take these jobs because it's a voluntary basis. We don't mandate people to work these assignments. But I can find out the answer for you and email you, for the last fiscal years.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd just be interested in knowing. And then the other question that I had, and this may be something you want to redirect me to the folks via email, but with my follow-up conversation with the Army Corps of Engineers contact, there was the discussion about kind of Army or these locations like qualifying for as part of the aggregation of assignments and towards retirement basically is where I'm going. I'm not being very clear, but like basically how this was calculated, like if I was an officer and I took like exclusively these assignments, how does that compare to, I guess, other assignments that may count towards retirement hours as part of that process?
Towards your Metro pension?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Only jobs that you are working for the city account towards your Metro pension.
Nothing other government related. It's only Metro jobs.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Thank you for your help.
Yep.
Thank you for those questions, Councilmember Evans and Deputy Chief Gilder. Thank you for that information. Chief Gilder, if you don't mind, when you emailed that response to Councilmember Evans, if you don't mind, will you CC Director Darby so that she can disseminate that information to the rest of the Budget and Finance Committee? Thank you so much. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? We have 13 in favor, 0 against, and 0 abstaining. Motion carries. The next agenda item is RS 2023-21. Porterfield Evans Allen approves an application for an Hotspot Violent Crime Intervention Fund Targeted Community Crime Reduction Project grant from the Tennessee Office of Criminal Justice Programs to the Metro Nashville Police Department to utilize funding for the formation of the PAL program to help build strong community relations and facilitate early intervention in the lives of at-risk youth, and to purchase equipment and increase staffing to better prepare officers to respond to violent crime incidents. Is there a motion? It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Johnson, you are recognized. In 1 moment, you're recognized.
Deputy Chief Gilder, if you could come up and just, I think it's important to explain, especially to the new folks and maybe some of the returning folks, what the PAL program is, because I think it's exceptional and it has done good work historically. So to start this, I think is important for people to know what it is. If you can just explain, thank you.
Sure. So PAL is the Police Activities League. It's a program that existed under a slightly different name back, I think, in the 90s. Chief Drake was, as an officer and I think even a sergeant, associated with the police. It was called the Police Athletic League back then. And that's basically where officers are spending time with youth in the community, engaging in sporting activities. It's a good way for officers to connect with like I said, youth in the community. And we have, that was one of the goals of Chief Drake, was to reinstitute that program. And he's done so. And they do different sporting activities, and they were starting out the program with youth boxing. So he's pretty excited. We're excited about it. And the officers that are involved in it are very passionate about it.
Thank you, that's all.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson, and thank you, Deputy Chief Gilder. Do we have any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 12 in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention. 12 in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention. RS 2023-26, Porterfield Evans Welsh Allen appropriates $355,200 from the Metro Board of Health to the Neighborhood Health Incorporated and approves a grant contract between the Metropolitan Board of Health and Neighborhood Health Incorporated to provide homeless individuals with medical and dental services at 2 or more clinics in or near downtown Nashville. Can I get a motion? Is there a second? It has been moved and properly seconded. Councilmember Dreffel, did you want to be recognized? You're recognized.
Yeah, I'd just like to, I think Director Calvin's here. How many people do we need that requires medical and dental? And how much does this cover compared to the total needs? Is the homeless?
Do we have anyone from the Tom Sharp?
This is 26, right? Did I get it right?
This is 25.
Oh, 25, sorry.
I'm so sorry. Item 25, resolution 26.
Oh, okay, then that's, okay.
And it's appropriating it to the Board of Health. Mr. Sharp, are you able to answer that question?
I can try.
Thank you.
I'm Tom Sharp from the Metro Public Health Department. Congratulations to all of you for your elections. So the charter requires us, the health department, to provide a program of indigent medical care. We used to run a clinic downtown. It was a health department clinic. 15 years-ish ago, that was converted into this grant of, was it 355, 365, to Neighborhood Health, which runs the downtown clinic down there next to the Mission. It specifies certain things that they will provide with that money. If you're looking for how many actual dental procedures and whatnot they do, I can get that number from them, but I don't know that. I can tell you what the grant requires them to do. They got to see at least 3,500 homeless individuals. They have to do this, that, no. They have to provide 24-hour on-call medical emergency care. Let's see. They do a lot of things, but it's to help them run that clinic.
Yeah, you might not be able to answer it. I was just wondering, Dr. Calvin's here, how many people get medical and dental or are needed, and how much is this pay for proportionate to the total needs?
Very little.
I know you weren't expecting this.
No,
Thank you.
no. Congratulations to all of you all once again, and I was not expecting that question, but I will say that Neighborhood Health is one of our best partners, and they are the medical provider on record for the population that we know and love and serve. But I can get that information from you. He's also providing services at the 2 interim gap housing locations as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Councilmember Druffel. And Chair Calvin, when you get that information, if you could also email that to Director Darby so that it can be shared out with the rest of the committee, I would appreciate it. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13 in favor, 0 against, 0 non-voting. The next item is RS 2023-30, Porterfield, Welsh, Coopin, and others. Approves a grant from the Metro Office of Homeless Services to the Contributor Incorporated to provide critical time intervention services to ensure that individuals are connected to supportive services that will address barriers to maintaining housing and achieving self-sufficiency. Can I get a motion? It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13-0-0. The next item is RS 2023-33, Prep T Porterfield, Rutherford and Parker approves a second amendment to ordinance number BL 2017-590 to authorize the Director of Public Property Administration to acquire the name of the Metropolitan Government fee simple interest in the parcel of property located at 2126 Abbott Martin Road for the purpose of realigning the intersection of Hillsborough Road with Crestmore Road and Glen Echo Road. Can I get a motion? It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Councilmember at Large Evan Siegel, you are recognized.
I just had a question as to which parcel this was. When I pulled it up on Parcel Viewer, it pulled up one, and then when I Google mapped it, it was another. And if somebody would just send me which parcel it is, because when I pulled it up on one, it was like on the wrong side of the mall, and malls are confusing and weird, and I just wanted to understand where it was.
Is there anyone that can? Okay, I am going to recognize Director Darby.
Oh, I asked for and received earlier today a depiction of where the parcel is that we're looking to acquire. And it is part of the mall, but it's that part of the mall that's right across the street from Glen Echo. But I will share that with you and the rest of the committee after this meeting.
And is it the entire parcel that we're looking to get, or just a
No,
portion?
it is a portion of the parcel that's just this is for a street realignment, and there is a tiny portion that looks like it might go over onto the mall parcel where there's currently a parking lot. And so we would not be looking to acquire the entire mall parcel.
It did look like, well, just that whole Gus Meyer strip center was like in the parcel, so I just wanted to make sure it was.
It's a small portion. I will forward that depiction to you.
Thank you.
And the committee.
Thank you so very much. Councilmember Evan Siegel. Are you going to be Evan Siegel or just Siegel? Okay. Thank you, Councilmember. I don't care. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 13-0-0. And that was the last item on our agenda. So you all survived, or we collectively survived our first meeting. I did want to acknowledge we have our acting finance director, Janine Reed, present, and I wanted to introduce her to the committee. Did you want to say anything? Okay.
Congratulations to all of you. I met some of you at the council orientation, so great to see you again and looking forward to helping you in any way we can.
So for those in the viewing audience, she said congratulations. She met some of us at the orientation and she looks forward to helping us any way that she can. I also want to acknowledge that we have Vice Mayor Angie Henderson with us today. So Vice Mayor, thank you for joining us. And last but certainly not least, I have the pleasure and the honor of naming a vice chair to the committee. And there was no one better than my colleague here, Councilwoman Quante Toombs. So Councilwoman Quante Toombs will be the vice chair of our Budget and Finance Committee. Thank you for serving in that capacity. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.